Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your Kenmore refrigerator isn't cooling and you're worried it's out of Freon, I've got good news. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to diagnose and fix this problem. Most of the time, it's not a refrigerant leak at all. It's usually something mechanical like a dirty coil or a failed fan motor. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. Now, here's the thing about refrigerator cooling problems. We're going to work from the simplest stuff first, then move to the more complex issues. A not cooling code basically means the system can't remove heat from the inside like it's supposed to. We're looking at five main culprits here: dirty condenser coils that can't release heat, a failed evaporator fan that can't move cold air around, a burnt out start relay that won't kick the compressor on, sealed system problems like a bad compressor, and defrost issues that ice up the whole system. Many common refrigerator cooling issues can be resolved with basic troubleshooting, though the exact percentage varies by model and failure type. You'll see the compressor running constantly, but the fridge just won't get cold. The sides of the cabinet can feel hot to the touch, and you might often notice higher electric bills. What's happening is dust, pet hair, and grease build up on those coils behind the base grill, creating an insulating blanket that prevents heat from escaping. Here's what you'll need: a vacuum with brush attachment and safety gloves. First, always unplug the refrigerator and wait 5 minutes for safety. Remove that base grill at the bottom, it usually just pops off or has a couple of clips, and examine those coils. If they're caked with dust and debris, grab a vacuum with a brush attachment and clean them out thoroughly. You can also use a coil brush from the hardware store. This should be done every 6 to 12 months, but most people never do it. Don't use compressed air. That just blows the dirt deeper into the coils. You'll notice the freezer stays cold, but the fresh food section gets warm. You might also hear squealing or groaning noises coming from inside the freezer compartment. What's happening is the motor that circulates cold air from the freezer coils to the rest of the unit has failed due to bearing wear or moisture getting into the motor. Here's what you're going to do: open up the freezer and listen for the fan running. If it's silent, unplug the unit and remove the back panel inside the freezer. Try spinning the fan blade by hand. If it doesn't turn freely or feels rough, the motor's shot. To test with a multimeter, set it to continuity mode and touch the probes to the motor terminals. You should get a reading between 100 to 300 ohms. No reading means the motor is electrically dead. But if the bearings are seized, you'll need to replace the entire fan assembly. This runs about $100 to $250 in parts, and it's a moderate DIY repair if you're comfortable removing that back panel. You'll see the compressor running constantly, but the evaporator coils show no frost or just a tiny spot of frost. There might be oily residue on the copper lines, and the system never gets cold no matter how long it runs. What's happening is either the compressor itself has failed mechanically or there's a leak in the refrigerant lines. This is especially common on Kenmore Elite models with the 795 prefix. Those are made by LG and have those problematic linear compressors that fail within 1 to 3 years. The aluminum condenser coils in these models react with the refrigerant and oil, creating contaminants that plug up the capillary tubes. Stop right here. This is not a DIY repair. Working on the sealed system requires EPA certification and specialized equipment. Attempting this yourself can be dangerous and may void your warranty. This is definitely a job for certified professionals only. If you've got one of those 795 models and it's under warranty, call for service immediately. If it's out of warranty, you're looking at $400 to $1,200 for a repair, which usually means it's time to replace the unit unless it's a really expensive fridge. You'll often hear a click every few minutes, followed by silence, and sometimes there can be a burnt smell near the compressor, depending on the vehicle. The compressor tries to start but can't get going. What's happening is that little relay that gives the compressor its electrical kick has burnt out from thousands of start cycles or overheating from dirty coils. Here's what you're going to do: unplug the fridge, pull it out from the wall, and remove the electrical cover on the compressor. Pull out that start relay. It's about the size of a matchbox. Shake it, and if you hear rattling, it's broken inside. You can also test it with a multimeter for continuity between the terminals. Here's a critical money saving tip: Don't let anyone convince you to replace the entire compressor without testing this relay first. A $30 relay can save you from an $800 compressor replacement. Always start with this simple test. It takes 5 minutes and could save you hundreds. The relay itself costs about $30, but if you call a pro, expect to pay $150 to $300 total. You'll see heavy frost buildup on the back wall of the freezer, and the fridge section gradually gets warmer while the freezer might actually get too cold. What's happening is the defrost heater, thermostat, or timer has failed, so ice builds up on the evaporator coils and blocks airflow. Here's what you're going to do. First, unplug the unit and let all that ice melt. Don't use a hairdryer on high heat because you'll melt the plastic liner. Once it's defrosted, test the defrost heater with a multimeter for continuity. If it's open, you'll need to replace it. The defrost thermostat and timer can also fail, but the heater is the most common culprit. This repair runs about $100 to $250 in parts and requires moderate electrical skills to test and replace the components safely. Here's the reality of refrigerator repair costs. If your unit is less than 8 years old and the repair is less than 50% of a new refrigerator's cost, fix it. If it's over 10 years old and you're looking at major components like the compressor, replace it. The most expensive wrong repair I see is replacing a compressor for $800 when it's just a $30 start relay. Labor typically accounts for 60 to 70% of the professional repair bill, so a $30 part becomes a $200 to $300 service call. The cheapest real fix is cleaning those condenser coils yourself, which costs nothing but your time. Don't fall for the trap of replacing the evaporator fan when the real problem is ice buildup from a defrost failure. That's throwing good money after bad. And never let anyone open the sealed refrigerant lines without proper EPA certification and recovery equipment. Let's talk about the key components and their typical costs. Condenser coils handle heat transfer and cost nothing to clean yourself, but professional cleaning runs $60 to $120. The evaporator fan circulates cold air and costs $100 to $250 to replace when the motor seizes. Start relays provide the electrical kick to start the compressor and cost about $30 for the part, but $150 to $300 installed. The defrost heater melts frost off the coils and runs $100 to $250 when it burns out. You can find these parts at Repair Clinic or Parts Dar, and many are available at local appliance stores. The key is accurate diagnosis. Don't just throw parts at the problem hoping something sticks. Kenmore Elite models with that 795 prefix have a known engineering weakness with those linear compressors. They're basically guaranteed to fail within a few years. The aluminum to steel joints in the sealed system are prone to vibration-induced leaks, and the aluminum coils create corrosion that plugs the system. French door models also have a common problem where the defrost drain gets clogged and freezes, causing water to pool and eventually block the evaporator fan. Side-by-side models often suffer from wiring failures in the door hinge, where the harness wires get stressed and break from constant opening and closing. If you've got one of these problem models, keep your receipts and warranties handy because these aren't random failures, they're design issues. The French door drain problem can often be fixed by clearing the drain line, but linear compressor failures typically mean replacement in many models. Here's your action plan for a Kenmore refrigerator that's not cooling. Step 1. Clean those condenser coils. This fixes 40% of cooling problems. Step 2. Test the evaporator fan motor. Step 3. Check the start relay. Follow this exact order and you'll solve most cooling issues without expensive service calls. Keep those 795 Elite models on your radar for early compressor failure. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your Kenmore refrigerator working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.